My name is Nayaswami Padma, and I'm here today to bring you a taste of inspiration from the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. And today's quotation is a little bit longer than the ones I normally select, but it has a very important message. He says, don't judge your inner progress by what others think of you, unless you know their discrimination to be dependable. For people usually praise or criticize others for all the wrong reasons. They like a thing if it endorses their opinions, however mistaken, and they dislike anything if it poses a threat to their opinions. Accept both praise and criticism with equanimity. If, however, you must prefer one of these to another, then prefer criticism. There was a saint in India whose evening gatherings with the disciples was often disturbed by a skeptical neighbor who made it a point to find fault with everything the saint said or did. The disciples wanting to throw him out, but the master wouldn't hear of it. One evening, a disciple appeared at the evening discussion, sporting a broad smile. Master, he cried exultantly, your enemy, the critic, is dead. Ah, alas, cried the saint, tears welling up in his eyes. I'm heartbroken. My best friend has left this world. He was the only one who was willing to help me by pointing out my faults. Shall I ever find another as true to my well-being as he? Well, admittedly, a saintly attitude. Most of us struggle with critique, with criticism, but put in the context that Yogananda puts here, it might be helpful to remember that the soul, our soul, is perfect, and that the only thing with faults within us is our ego. Yogananda defines the ego as the soul identified with the body and the personality. And that, of course, is a flaw in itself. And so when, as a devotee, as a serious devotee, our flaws are pointed out, by definition, they have to be flaws of the ego. And ultimately, as a devotee, we are grateful for the purification of our ego. So when the light is shining on, it may not feel like that, but that in fact is what it is. When the light is shining on the flaw that we have, it is to help us transcend that flaw, to purify that flaw, to return it to its natural state of the soul. And that is what the ego is. It's a completely purified ego, again, merges into our soul nature, or metamorphosizes, however we want to describe it. So my point is that we're grateful then when we can see our flaws more clearly so that we can work on transcending them. And that is the very important lesson in this story, in this explanation, this conveyance of Yogananda through this illustration that I read this afternoon. So joy to you, and we will see you again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye now.